Wir sind jetzt angekommen an unserer letzten Station, und zwar in Moskau, und auch hier sitzt ein Teil des Robocash-Teams. Und zwar sitzt hier die gesamte Finanzabteilung und ein Teil des UnaPay-Teams. UnaPay ist der Kreditgeber von den Philippinen. Und ja, da werde ich mir mal ein bisschen mehr über die Produkte oder über das Produkt erklären lassen, was sie da anbieten. Und wir schauen natürlich auch nochmal einen Blick auf die Finanzen von Robocash. Ich kann euch das mal gerade hier zeigen, wie es hier aussieht. In einem dieser Gebäude dort, ich weiß jetzt nicht genau, ob eins von den vorderen oder von den hinteren, sitzen ca. 20 Leute von Robocash im 17. Stock. Und ja, das wollen wir uns jetzt mal ein bisschen näher anschauen. We are here now at the Robocash office in Moscow. It's a little bit smaller than the other ones, and we are here with Grigorii. Yes. Maybe you know him already from the webcast.
So. Yes, I'm the person behind the stories every quarter. So welcome. As you might know, I'm the deputy CFO of Robocash Group, and I will give you a quick tour around this Moscow office of ours. Will be really quick because the office is really small. So okay. Let's proceed.
Let's do this. So we have 2 rooms here, right?
Yes, just 2 rooms, hosting something around 20 people. Let's start with this one. Please. This one has a very nice view of the river and a view at the city as well. It hosts the UnaBank team here. And the most important person in Moscow office, Anastasia, our office manager. Katerina, I'm sorry. And there it is, as you can see. A lot of desks are used as hotel ones because many people in Moscow team work from home, including myself. And these nice people here are making the next generation banking product for Philippines this time, mostly.
What does it mean? What kind of product?
The neobank we were speaking about, part of the team is located at Philippines, and a substantial part of product managers and marketing team is located here. Mm-hmm. Here are the people who work behind to make it happen.
Okay. And there's also the yellow sofa, like in every Robocash office.
Yes, of course. It's
a very important part, I think.
The other room is a more hardcore one. This is where Moscow data scientists live.
Oh, okay.
So here it is. Now, let me show you the most important part of the office. Here it is. This is the office refueling station. Coffee starts here.
Of course, yeah, I smell it.
Yeah, and nice people here are mostly the data scientists who create the value for Robocash Group, and this is the one we mentioned many times in our webcasts, that we have a competitive advantage of being able to tell bad borrowers from good ones. And this is how we actually manage the business, and this is where we create value, which we share through peer-to-peer platform. And over there is a management room. You can see the group CFO Pavel.
Hello.
And this is our IFRS manager, Ivan. Well, probably you have met them already.
Not yet, no.
And as you can see, this room offers a view at the high rises of the city. Let's move to the window and check them out.
Oh, sorry.
I think the majority of Russian high-rise buildings are located in this particular district in Moscow.
So this is some kind of a business center?
Yes, it was planned like one, and it was called the City, just to mimic London, I believe, and many other cities. And well, it works. It starts to work right now. Many companies have moved their headquarters into this business district.
And why you are situated here in Moscow? And
well, we are situated in Moscow because Robocash Group draws on talent, which Moscow has to offer. It's a big city, a lot of people, a lot of educated people. And we are located in the city because it is the most convenient location for majority of the team.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
Yes.
Will you grow the business here also? So the office and so on?
Yes, we started with only this room, and then we expanded to another because we were building up the team for the UnaBank. And there it is. If we continue to expand the team, we will rent more and probably move into some other tower if you like.
Okay.
So far, this works pretty well for us.
Thanks for the office tour, Grigorii.
I'll be honest, I'm pretty new to peer-to-peer financing. I have been in the game for maybe the last 2 years. Prior to that, I worked in PricewaterhouseCoopers in consulting. I started there. And then I moved into operational finance, but with a special tint to it. Because I understood early in my career that I like working with numbers, but in a very particular way. Most financiers like working with numbers because that's their bread. But on top of making the reporting and the financial statements, which is common for finance, I enjoy making models and trying to predict things. And this is where I like working with numbers. What excites me is that there are some formulas or relationships between the parameters which you can trace in the history and use to project the future. It's the basics of maybe even data science, but what I focus on is financial modeling and tools to assess what may come if we do something. So, and this is what I have been doing for the last maybe 15 years, financial modeling and operation modeling. I have been doing models of real estate portfolios, the allocation of workspaces or workplaces among the properties the company have. I made the assessment and operational model of merger of 2 big FMCG producers in Russia, this dairy products mainly. And prior to joining Robocash, I was working in a fintech startup, which was trying to make a transactional product. Didn't come off, unfortunately, but I did like the process. It also involved a lot of modeling and what-if analysis. So this is mostly what I do in Robocash Group, the financial modeling, forecasting, what-if analysis, and decision-making support.
Okay, and how long you are in the Robocash Group already?
2 years. I joined in October 2019.
So at this stage, Robocash was quite small compared to today, right?
Yes, the growth was pretty impressive over 2 years.
We are here now with Nikita, who is the CEO of UnaPay or UnaBank. I'm not sure.
UnaPay. Okay. Currently, it's UnaPay.
Is it the same? UnaPay and UnaBank?
Basically, UnaBank is one more level towards our conversion to banking services in the Philippines, and currently we are operating under brand UnaPay.
Okay, so maybe we can start. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about you and what you are exactly doing, and what is your task in the Robocash Group?
Okay, so basically my background is mostly of banking, fintech, and also before I joined the Robocash Group, I used to work in Ozon, which is the biggest Russian marketplace, as a vice president of financial services there.
And this is maybe to understand. This is something like Amazon, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So
this is the marketplace.
The Russian Amazon.
Yeah, something like that. Exactly.
Okay.
So, and I joined Robocash Group in January 2020. I was pretty thrilled by the idea of launching a digital bank in the Philippines. So that's how it looked back then, and my key task was first to help with existing Robocash business in the Philippines, and also build new products for our banking products that are closer to banking services in the Philippines. Well, basically, what we started to do is we started the process of getting banking license, but simultaneously, because we had the financing company license, which is basically you can do loans, but you cannot accept deposits. So all the lending products you can do. So we started getting deeper with banking products like salary loans, or like buy now, pay later, more longer term, less risky, lower interest rate kind of products, different segments basically in the Philippines. So, and currently we have 3 It's UnaPay as a buy now, pay later product. We have salary loans where we tie up with the merchants, with companies, and provide loans to their employees. And we have UnaCash, which is basically, I don't know, digital cash loans. And yeah, we are currently in the process of buying a bank in the Philippines because we want to explore this more. We want to accept deposits. We want to launch payments, cards, basically become the digital bank in the Philippines.
And what's the plan for going public? When do you plan this?
The plans have changed because we originally intended to have an IPO this year, and we shelved the project right now. We funded our growth through other sources, including the peer-to-peer platform. Right now, we don't have a firm date of becoming public, but I will be surprised if we are still a private company in 5 years.
Okay, and as far as I heard, you plan to go public on the Australian stock exchange, or was this just the first plan? Do you change this already?
That was the initial idea, and we worked through consultants in Australia, but this deal didn't come through because we changed plans internally.
Okay, and how important is it for the group if we talk about the loan volume, for example?
Currently, UnaPay is still nascent. We launched our products in the beginning of 2021. So it's still a few months, and these products are harder. It's a bit harder for the group to transfer the knowledge, to get the knowledge for these products, how to operate, how to build economics. Because of the payday loans, the group has been on the payday loan market since 2013, since the Russian business started. So a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, a lot of expertise. Here, less expertise. That's why for a few months we're trying to build the positive unit economics before we scale up. We achieved positive unit economics for all products already. So it's buy now, pay later, for UnaCash, for salary loans. And now we are slowly scaling up to achieve a better, basically to reach the profitability. But currently, in terms of the whole, I mean, in terms of the Philippines, I think the UnaPay itself is now 10 to 15% of the whole Philippines business. And the Philippines business now, I don't know, I think it's second or third market in the group.
Okay. Okay. Let's get back to your Russian roots. Investors are always afraid that here in Russia can happen some kind of political instability. Would you see this as a risk for investors from Europe?
Let me split the question a little bit, because it's funny that people mention political risks and instability, because on surface at least, Russia has been politically ultra stable for the last 20 years.
Okay.
It's the same person ruling the country, so you make all this stability. Of course, being so long in power creates some imbalances, which may lead to instability later on when transition occurs. And we're certainly looking for options regarding this one, but just like any company working in Russia. Coming back to concerns of European peer-to-peer investors, they do not actually interact in any way with Russian entities, because the platform itself is incorporated in Croatia. Holding company is incorporated in Singapore, and the claim agreements, which are concluded when an investor buys claim rights on a loan, are concluded between European investors and these loan originators, which are incorporated in respective jurisdictions. So at this level, our investors are protected from any turmoil which may happen in Russia. So, and like I mentioned, to mitigate the potential political risks and instability risks in Russia, we are becoming more international. We are diversifying our business geographically. So we have good presence in Kazakhstan, we have presence in Spain, we are building up our presence in Philippines, Indonesia, and Vietnam. So this is our hedge against possible risks in Russia.
And the Robocash group had some problems a couple of years ago with the Philippines, right? So they lost the license there, and now they build up a new business. do you know what happened back in the days?
Well, basically, that happened before I joined, but of course, since I joined, then I had to also some kind of clean the situation, solve the situation in the Philippines. Basically, before the group strategy was more to partner with local partners, and of course, sometimes the local partners, you rely a lot on him, especially of local regulation, local compliance, and many things in terms of offline business of Robocash were not fully complied with the regulation. What we did immediately after this issue was raised, we tried to diversify the risk, so we opened one more legal entity, secured the license, basically the UnaPay legal entity, and transferred the whole business there. So that the first company that had the pending case with the Security and Exchange Commission in the Philippines were not under risk. So basically, and of course we tried to save it. We had a few appeals. We tried to have better talks with the government, and at some point of time we also gave up. The COVID situation started. Things became much slower, and that pending case also, I mean, the worst thing was it's pending. It's better if it's revoked, because at least it's clarity. But if it's pending for, I don't know, investors, for, I don't know, employees, for everybody, it's something uncertain. And basically we gave up on that, and we just transferred all the business beforehand through the new legal entity, and now it's everything is safe.
But is it possible that this could happen again?
No, not yet, because I mean everything is possible. But what we learned, what the group of company learned from that, is that we need to strengthen our compliance, strengthen our risk policies, basically the risk management in general, so that that thing never happened. Because basically it put at risk a lot of customers, investors, employees, everybody. And I personally dealt with all the issues that were done basically by the predecessors.
What would happen, for example, if you have some problems in some countries? For example, you have to shut down Spain, for example, because some other platforms did this before in the last months. Would the whole group will cover this in that case?
Well, if we for some reason closing the operations in any country and we have peer-to-peer investors with claim rights on loans in this jurisdiction, what will happen is that the loan originator will simply execute this right of claims for our investors. In simple words, the loan originator will continue collecting the cash from the borrowers and pass on the cash proceeds to investors. And this is because, well, the platform does facilitate conclusion of the deals and transfer of funds, but there are other ways to transfer the funds from borrowers to investors in case that something untoward happens to either the loan originator or the peer-to-peer platform. So there will be some agent which will pass on the funds. So simple as that. And in case the loan originator faces a wave of defaults from borrowers, yes, we have a buyback guarantee, and this buyback guarantee additionally covered by the group capital.
So maybe let's come to your investment. You also already mentioned that you are invested in the stock market. Maybe you can tell a little bit more about your portfolio.
Well, it's a pretty standard one, and it is a very conservative one, I would say. I have roughly 15% of personal funds invested in peer-to-peer industry, about 70% in bonds, in rubles and in dollars, and the rest is in risk investments, like hot stocks, probably Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, and some growth stocks, which I believe will shine in the coming years, like, for example, Vestas, the producer of wind turbines. So there it is, but mostly it's very conservative instruments. The peer-to-peer as a conservative but profitable part, and then bonds.
I'm also invested with 15% in P2P, but it would be interesting to hear which platform you have chosen. I think for Russians it's not possible to invest in all platforms, so where are you invested in P2P lending exactly?
Well, personally, I have accounts on Mintos and Peerberry.
So it's possible for you?
It depends. There are windows when they onboard Russian citizens, and then windows when they do not.
Okay.
And if I had a chance, I would certainly invest in Robocash. Well, would be an insider deal, but I would.
What about COVID? Is it a problem to operate offline branches there, or is it okay?
About COVID, we had, I think, 3 months in last year, March to June, when we basically ceased our operations in terms of disbursements, because immediately there was first of all, of course, we expected that it would be loss-making because people lost their jobs and everybody stayed at home, and the government response to the pandemic was pretty severe there. Just personal opinion, it was pretty severe. So stay at home, checkpoints, work from home only. Also, of course, they introduced some laws that provided the borrowers with the extensions basically until the end of that lockdown. So we also had some issues to collect, because basically the borrower can say, I will not return you anything until end of lockdown, and we don't know when the lockdown will end, and we needed liquidity because we need to pay salaries to support business somehow. But after that we fully recovered, and our volumes, we had our best volumes. We are having our best volumes right now, and we've been growing since June last year. I don't know, 10 to 15% per month. So in terms of offline, basically same thing. Of course, sometimes it's an issue, but we adjust it. I mean, this COVID is more about adjustment. If you can't adjust, you can't survive. We adjusted. We already tried many ways how can we build this business model, offline business model, when the COVID is there. So we just adjusted, and currently we are trying to. We are already having very good results.
And of course, you have the advantage that you have the Robocash group in your back. If something happens, then Robocash
definitely. That's a big advantage. And if we were just basically alone there, we wouldn't have survived.
Yes.
And the whole group policy, how the group responded to the COVID pandemic, because it was. Now we know it's nothing, like not nothing serious, but it's not. People can work. Businesses grow, but then it was complete uncertainty. So, and we tried to cut costs, we tried to sustain some liquidity, we tried to cut disbursements in many markets, and good thing we pushed through this.
Yeah. I'm very grateful to those of you who are with us, and I encourage those of you who are not yet with us to join us, because we are pretty successful financial group, and we like to share our success with the peer-to-peer investors. So welcome.